Hey everybody, Rob Hanley, editor-in-chief of Recovery Today. And, in a world where everything is raining lemons, I just absolutely love, we are a magazine of hope, I absolutely love a story of making lemonade out of lemons falling around everywhere. And so to that, one of my really, really good friends, he has been in the magazine twice, and he's actually going to be in more because he's doing so many cool things. My friend, Robert Cord Beatty. And thanks for jumping on, Cord. I'm going to set you up real quick, though, because I want to remind everybody who you are. But thanks for jumping on. Say hello.
Yeah. How you doing, Rob? Thanks for having me.
For sure. So this guy, by the way, we had him on about a year and a half or so ago. Super cool guy. He runs a treatment center called called Retreat at Zion in Utah. It's awesome. It's kind of like an extreme almost mountain climbing recovery center because Cord is a military veteran, a pilot, and the coolest thing I think ever is that he has actually climbed to the top of Mount Everest 2 times. So I find that completely remarkable. But we're going to talk about recovery real quick in this little mini interview, but I want to talk about what you're seeing on the page here, which is these Zumm thermometer guns and this quick story of lemons into lemonade and how it actually fits back to recovery and things like that, hoping to inspire you and, give you a little bit about what he's doing as well. So take it away, man. Tell the story.
Yeah, Rob, thank you. And thanks for having me. I had manufactured a lot of different devices with a manufacturer out of China over the last 14 years. Some of those were tablets and watches for senior citizens, tracking watches that track heart rate, and then we were developing a product called Child Tracers that kids watch. We sold hundreds of thousands of Android TV boxes under the brand of Zumm box. So the brand Zumm, this federal trademark brand, has been around for a long time in the electronics field, and I've always owned it. And so when all the crisis was going on, I was looking for some way that I could dig in entrepreneurially dig in and get involved somehow that would also have an impact on the public and benefit what the needs are here. And that's when you and I started talking about the rapid test kits and those things. And I happened to get a phone call from my guys in Dongguan, China, and we were talking about what they were doing. And they had actually shut their factory down. They have 600 employees over there. So they had shut their factory down during their crisis, and they had retooled the entire factory, stopped manufacturing Samsung phones and Samsung circuitry, and they began manufacturing one product that would be what they saw as being of great need in this crisis, and in the future of this crisis, because we're only seeing the scratching of the surface of this thing. And the product is a infrared thermal thermometer. They're used all over the world. They're just not used in the U.S. And it's something that you can point, as you're seeing on the screen, you can point about this far away from a person's forehead or on their hand, and you can read that person's temperature. So this is a really needed item. And with
You're
the
not sticking a thermometer in their mouth or something like that. Like you just go, boop, and it right away.
It reads, and it's so we also needed something very accurate if we're going to sell to government agencies and municipalities and the general public. So you have to have something very accurate, and we have to have something that doesn't have Chinese knockoff written all over it. So it has to be a reputable manufacturer.
Nobody's wanting to buy from China right now. No. Nobody's wanting to buy anything
from
China.
No, and so Tony and I talked about that at length, and what we came up with is in the conversation, what I came up with was an answer for what I needed and what he needed. A Chinese moratorium on medical devices coming to the U.S. has been in place for a few weeks now, and that moratorium is that there are no Chinese devices entering the United States. Actually, no Chinese medical devices being manufactured in China unless they've been approved by the Chinese government. There's a Chinese approval on that. Unless they have an FDA approval, they've been registered here, and unless they've have a valid export license or a valid manufacturer, and unless they have a U.S. partner involved in the shipment and distribution of that device. So it was really fortuitous that Tony and I were talking, and we teamed up and said, okay, let's do this. And my partner Craig and I started working on that. Craig actually led the charge and went after this. And because of the need for this, we're not seeing like any of the need. I mean, we're talking with FEMA right now, and there's a 5,000 unit order on the table. But we're just starting to kick tires here on what the real need of this device is in the United States, and we believe it to be quite large.
But it's not like as large as when they say like testing kits, because one of these devices can test obviously a lot of people.
Yeah. But you're talking about every hospital should have it, every first responder should have it.
Not just every hospital would have it. You'd have like probably 20 at a hospital, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
30 at a hospital,
maybe 20 or 30 in each hospital. And but the real need that we saw was direct to the consumer. And that's where we're going. Direct to the consumer, because nobody should be coming inside your home unless you know that they're okay in this type of a crisis. So what are you going to do? You're going to ask somebody to take a thermometer and put it under their tongue, or you're going to put something in their ear, put your hands on them? No, you're not going to want to do any of that. This way, if you came to my house, I said, would you mind if I take your temperature? You say yes. I pull my device from the side table. I point it in your forehead. You're still 3 feet away from me. I reach forward. I take your temperature. Come on in, Rob. So we really see that being the answer, right?
Hopefully we're not going to have to do that for like coming over to watch a football game, man. Yeah, sure, no problem. 1 second though, please. Do you mind? Yeah.
But the reality of that is that wouldn't it give you a lot of comfort, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it for anything that there's a mass gathering of people, at least in the short term after this is over. So that's what I see it. You know, I've seen FEMA, they need it right now in hospitals and medical stations and things like that. So tell me how this fits into recovery, because you're a guy that's not like you're leaving the recovery business. You own a treatment center. So how does this fit into recovery and treatment?
Yeah, it's actually not I'm not breaking my focus. I'm entrepreneurial and I have multiple businesses, but the way I look at it, it's another income stream for me to be able to take the profitability of something that is monumentally huge to me because of the orders that are coming at us right now, and use that money to build more treatment centers, which is what I'm doing. 100% of my profits out of this will go to build more treatment centers. It will go to benefit those that can't afford treatment.
That's really what I was going to hone in onto is, what about the people that can't afford treatment or scholarshiping or things like that? Is there any plan for that kind of thing? Or what?
Yeah, I mean, I've always wanted to have a mechanism of generating enough capital to develop a scholarship program where I could have a board that's a scholarship board, and they analyze each applicant for their specific needs and be able to pay for that individual. I mean, for the person that really wants recovery, that really genuinely wants to be in treatment. There's a lot of people out there that don't have the luxury of being able to use an insurance policy to pay for treatment and don't have the money to do it. And I've never been in a position to really help those people. I'm looking at this as being a solution.
I just love the story of, like I said, lemons and lemonade. We're in the middle of the COVID pandemic right now, and this is actually a last-minute addition into the issue that you're reading right now. So my design team's probably going to kill us, but we wanted to put it in here because it's so relevant, and I'm looking for anything we can always hope-wise. And it fits into recovery because not only do you own a treatment center, a lot of us are very entrepreneurial, we do things, but you're looking like, well, how can I do this? How can I help somebody else? And then, I mean, how many of these do you have? It's not like you're selling 100 of these. I mean, how many do you have?
Well, we're manufacturing 25,000 per day for U.S. distribution.
Yes, this is big.
And so that's big. We have orders stacking up. The government of Turkey ordered 1 million units, which is in front of us, but we still, even with that, we have 25,000 per day allocated to us, specifically to us. Okay. And so we are importing 25,000 per day for U.S. distribution.
Nice. And so how many? It's not they can't go buy these on Amazon or something like that from you, right?
Yeah, no, it's going to be through through government contracts. We're going to really focus on making sure that most of our inventory goes to them first. All of your first responders, all the first need people, the hospitals, FEMA, the U.S. stockpile. We're dealing with those. We're working with the government there. I'm a veteran-owned business, so I get some priority over some of the things we do. To be a veteran-owned business does give us a leg up in with the government through sam.gov. We're registered with them, and so we're looking to fill those. There's a gigantic contract need. I was actually on the SAM site today. There is a huge.
What is SAM? What is that? What is SAM?
Sam.gov is a place where Uncle Sam has gone to post people that are looking for something, and there is a gigantic need for this device. There's probably 50 bids out on this device right now, and nobody to fill it. And I'm going to try to take every one of them.
Cool. Yeah. I think you should. And then all that money gets back to going to treatment centers and help people and scholarship them. And again, it gives a story of hope of, lemons in the lemonade, man. I think that it's a lot of people are pretty sketchy right now on their futures. They're out of work. They're hoping to be able to go back to work. We're locked in our houses here and trying to figure it out. So I just think that it's cool. I mean, my challenge to anybody that's watching this is what can you do? On a far tiny kind of scale, I still like it, but it is the same vein, is my sister-in-law is a very artistic and she's, craftsy person like that. She started making masks, like designer type of masks. Like she made, she's got fabric and she's started a little mask business on the side. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thanks for having me, Rob. I mean, this is awesome that you do that for us. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out. I thought it was a little nugget of hope as we're getting ready here. I mean, everything in this issue that you're reading right now has already been done and in the can, ready to go. So, like I said, our design team's probably going to kill me to say, hey, I want to slip this in real quick. Just a cool little mini feature. We'll click over here. What's the name of the product, by the way?
Zumm, Zumm.
Zumm.
Yeah, and the
product pictures in here. I guess if somebody can order, they can't. How many can they order? They can't order like 5 or 10. Like
no, minimum order requirements right now are 5,000 until we get a stockpile.
Somebody's watching this that owns a hospital or something like that. I guess you could order 5,000 of them. You work for FEMA or something like that, perhaps. But
you'll know the device. It has umlauts over the U because our product is actually assembled in China, but it's German-made, German-engineered, German-made. And
yeah, that's pretty big. I was looking at that on the website. So it's not like people, some people are mad, right or wrong, about China. It's just a virus. Doesn't care where it's from. But they still are not happy. And the whole idea, obviously, is bringing stuff in. So all the parts are made in Germany. The design is American. Is that right? And then
it's
American.
Yeah, it's all Siemens, those types of brands from Germany. They're Germany, Swiss. It's the best sensors in the business. It's accurate to plus or minus 0.01 degree centigrade.
Cool.
So it's very accurate.
So they just go boop like that, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah, very simple. Point it at somebody, you'll know their temperature.
Yeah. Little nugget of hope, little spotlight of hope. I thought it was cool as hell. I just wanted to, spotlight it, man. I think it's really cool. So people can go to what? Zumm.com?
Zumm. It's actually Zumm Inc. INC. ZummInc.com.
That's ZUMMINC.
ZUMMINC.com.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Well, thanks a ton for taking a minute to jump out. I know how busy you are right now, so appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob. Okay.
All right, guys.
Have a good day.